So I found a post on Reddit, which is where all of the correct opinions are formed, um, and it's talking about the latest raid in WoW, and I'll pull it up here. Um, should should be fine. Um, yeah, and it basically says that the new raid sort of harkens back to a time when WoW was an RPG and not an esport. Um, but the more that you read on, the more that you realize that this part is essentially just saying that other raids are too hard for me. Um, you know, Arborus is what raiding should be, easy, fun encounters, and it sort of led me to this train of thought where I was thinking about how if you're not in the top sort of 5% of a game, that's perfectly fine. You don't have to be. You don't have to, not everything in a game is made for you, and that's okay. Um, just because you can't clear what the people in the Race to World First are clearing, just because you can't hit Masters or Grandmasters or Challenger in League of Legends, just because you can't do the craziest 150 hit combos in Marvel versus Capcom, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's a bad thing. Games have evolved over time, and I won't sort of harp too much on the WoW side of this because that's not massively relevant to the point I want to make. Um, but if you look back at the history of WoW before all of this, add-ons that he was talking about, before everything was readily available, people spent it was like 6 months to a year trying to clear what is now considered, if you die once in Sunwell, you might as well just quit WoW. Like it is absurdly easy for people now because people know what they're doing 100 times more. Um, so it's like saying, um, saying that these raids shouldn't be hard is like saying we should remove ranked from fighting games because they were designed to be just you and a friend on a couch. It doesn't really work. Um, when you can argue that it's online versus offline and people will be better than you, but what's the problem with um, developers making something hard? WoW in itself has four different types of raid content now, from the absolute baby stuff in LFR all the way up to Mythic raiding, which is supposed to be sort of the pinnacle. A lot of people won't even do Mythic raids. In fact, I can probably, if I just search what percentage of players clear Mythic, if I can find this quickly. If I can't, then I'll leave it. Here you go. So yeah, I mean these people are reiterating a lot of what I said. I think Gahoon was the end boss at the time of this coming out 4 years ago, and oh, where the fuck is that gone now? Oh, we're going to a random person's. Jesus Christ. Okay. Um, yeah, 3% of people um, killed Mythic Gahoon. That's not that far off of the, what is it, 1% of people that hit Diamond in League of Legends. And I'm sure that number stays relatively close to 1 to 5% whatever game you go into. TFT, for example, is the game where I've got the highest rank, and I was in the top 0.8%, I think, when I hit Masters. and that's fine. That's probably my ceiling for the amount of time and effort that I want to put into the game. But to come back to this, just because you can't do something, it doesn't mean it's bad. Not everything's built for you. Not everybody has the time to get so good at a game that they can be in top 3% of players. In fact, not many people do. Top 3% of players, probably the only people who have that sort of time, give or take a few percent. Um, and it just made me think, games have evolved so much now to where esports scenes are a thing, and they are, a ceiling, sorry, to aim for. You don't need to just stop at you and a friend anymore. If you want to aspire to be something higher in a game, then the option is there for you. But even so, it's not like that's your only option. If you just want to play a game for the fun of it, bring it back to the WoW example, you've got 4 difficulty settings to load this up on. You can load this in normal, LFR, heroic. Just want an easy encounter? I cleared the whole of the last raid without any add-ons, without any weak auras. I had nothing telling me what to do, and I cleared the entirety of Vault of the Incarnates raw. If you want to just load up the raid with a load of friends, that's what you want to do, there's literally nothing stopping you. And this applies to every single game you can find. Don't want to get to Tekken God Prime in Tekken? Don't. You don't want to get Challenger in League? Don't try. Makes it's a pretty simple thing. And I think posts like this sort of stoke these fires where everybody thinks that everything should be easy in a game, and that's not the world that we live in anymore. Nothing's gifted to you. That goes for life as well, kids.